Welcome back to my astrocartography series where I help you read your astrocartography maps. Now, today's chart is really interesting because underneath all of the intensity and strength in the chart, what this person really wants is peace. I think that's really important because when I look at the chart, I see someone who has probably spent a lot of their life holding emotion in, which is not easy. So for this reading, I am not going to prioritize places that overstimulate your nervous system or flip your life upside down. I'm going to focus on places that help you feel safe and more calm because sometimes the right place isn't the place that changes you the most. Sometimes it's just the place where your body can feel safe and relaxed. So before we look at your astrocartography lines, I want to break down your birth chart because your map is just your birth chart mapped across the globe. And the first thing that I noticed about your chart is that you have a lot of fixed signs. We've got Moon in Taurus, Jupiter in Taurus, Mars in Leo, Saturn in Leo, and you are in Aquarius rising. So emotionally, what that means for you is that you probably crave safety, consistency, and also a lot of emotional connection, which is great. And because so much of your chart is fixed energy, you are probably someone who holds on to emotions for a very long time. So yes, your location is going to matter a lot to you, and picking the right place will determine whether you are fed emotionally or end up being drained. One of the strongest placements in your chart is your Sun conjunct Venus in Cancer. So the Sun represents your identity and the person you are becoming, and Venus represents love, beauty, and all of the relationships in your life. And because they are together in Cancer, emotional safety is deeply tied to your identity. Cancer energy is nurturing and sensitive to the environment, so you are probably someone who absorbs the emotional tone of the places and people around you. Your chart really wants warmth and softness and places that feel energy, so we want to give you that, and you may naturally create emotional safety for other people, but your chart also shows that you need to learn how to create emotional safety for yourself. Now, your Moon in Taurus is one of the most important placements in your chart for this reading because you specifically said that you want peace. Moon sign represents your emotional world and what helps you feel emotionally safe, and Taurus itself is grounding energy. So that is slow and comforting, and this placement tells me that your nervous system heals through stability, a lot of routine, and emotionally consistent environments. Now let's move on to your rising sign. So yours is in Aquarius, and Aquarius rising changes the energy of the chart because even though your emotional placements want security, Aquarius invites freedom into your life because that is what it craves. Aquarius is unconventional and future-oriented energy, and when I see this placement, I am going to tell you that you will not be living a traditional life because you naturally need environments that feel open. So being an Aquarius rising is important because your chart ruler is Uranus. It is very likely that you attract people who both change your life a lot and also people who awaken something deep inside of you. When I look at your map, I want to find places where relationships in your life will feel emotionally safe and also free at the same time. Now, because you're looking for peace, I am going to find where in your chart your MC is, and it's in Sagittarius, which tells me that your life path needs to feel like you are able to grow and expand. Sagittarius energy is connected to travel, exploration, and freedom, so even though you want to lay low and have peace, your chart is not asking you to stop growing altogether. It is telling you to grow in environments that feel emotionally supported instead of overwhelmed. Because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, I also want to look at where Jupiter is on your map, and your Jupiter is in Taurus. This is a good placement for someone who needs peace in their lives because Jupiter shows you how your life expands. And Taurus, on the other hand, expands slowly through feeling safe. I'm going to prioritize lines for you that support emotional grounding and nervous system regulation, which means that your strongest lines, in my opinion, are going to be Venus, Moon, Jupiter, and certain sun lines. I would be a lot more cautious with Uranus, Pluto, Mars, Neptune, and Saturn. Let's start with Venus. So Venus is one of the strongest lines for you because Venus is conjunct your Sun in Cancer. A lot of people know Venus as being the love line, but Venus lines for you are not just romance, but also emotional nourishment. Venus IC line would be a really good fit for you, in my opinion, because IC represents emotional roots and inner safety. For you, this could mean peace and comfort in the home space and really healing environments. Next, moon lines. Moon lines are going to be very important for you because your moon is in Taurus. Moon lines affect emotional safety directly, and because your moon is in Taurus, moon IC lines could also be very restorative and peaceful for you. This is the kind of placement where your nervous system calms down and your body relaxes. For someone searching for peace and needing it, this is one of the strongest energies I would consider. Next up, Jupiter, because it is also one of my top recommendations for you. Your midheaven is Sagittarius, and Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Jupiter is going to support your life direction, but because your Jupiter is in Taurus, your growth is going to happen through expansion. Jupiter IC lines are going to be a really good line for you if you want to feel feel abundant and restorative, especially when it comes to your emotional state. So if I had to summarize your chart and your map, I would say that you are someone who needs emotional safety and peace. But your chart is also asking you not to abandon yourself in the process of creating that in your life. So the right places for you are not necessarily the most exciting places per se. They are the places where your nervous system calms down and your emotions feel safe. That is why I prioritize Venus, Moon, and Jupiter for you. If you find the right locations under these lines, you will feel a sense of emotional nourishment and peace in your life. So best of luck with your travels, friend, and I hope this helps. Ciao.